Greetings, operatives. I am Agent Z4, and today we dissect human behavior so you can blend in without unfortunate incidents. Transmission continues from Mars Colony Delta on Sol 2889, which, according to Earth calendar calculations, corresponds with what may be the most terrifying day of the year due to the nostalgia of one subset of humans, Americans. I submit this report while the colony's 4th of July celebrations continue around me, providing real-time documentation of humanity's most bewildering psychological phenomenon, nostalgia. Nostalgia represents a fundamental error in human temporal perception, the tendency to romanticize past time periods despite overwhelming evidence that present conditions are objectively superior in measurable outcomes. Humans consistently rate historical periods as better, despite documented increases in life expectancy, reduced disease prevalence, enhanced safety protocols, improved resource availability, and expanded individual freedoms. This cognitive distortion reaches dangerous intensity during what Americans designate as Independence Day, a celebration of their historical separation from Earth's British governing entity in 1776. Despite this event occurring in excess of 1,000 Earth years ago, Americans on Mars continue to commemorate it with fervor that would be impressive if it weren't so alarming. The current festivities began at 600 Colony Standard Time with the raising of an American flag, a symbolic cloth rectangle Americans transported across interplanetary space at considerable expense. The emotional response to this object defies logical explanation. I observed 12 adults displaying visible moisture accumulation in their optical systems, while reciting acoustic patterns called the Star-Spangled Banner. Most concerning is that these Americans express nostalgia for a version of America that never existed. During the communal meal, I listened to extended discussions about the good old days, when America was great and people knew what freedom meant. When I respectfully noted that their described historical period featured limited voting rights, legal human slavery, and primitive medical care, one mining supervisor responded, "Yeah, but at least people had values back then." This pattern extends beyond Americans, though they represent the most extreme manifestation. All human subgroups demonstrate selective memory regarding their historical origins. During my research period, I documented nostalgia expressions for the simplicity of pre-digital Earth communication, ignoring global information access; the craftsmanship of manual manufacturing, ignoring inefficiency and quality inconsistencies; the community spirit of Earth rural life, ignoring social isolation and limited opportunities; the adventure of early space exploration, ignoring mortality rates and resource waste. The Americans currently celebrating around me have somehow transported their nostalgia to Mars, creating a temporal paradox where colonists on an alien world yearn for a historical period on a different planet that ended centuries before their births. Tactical recommendations for field operatives. Extreme caution during American nostalgia celebrations. The combination of explosive devices, fireworks, projectile weapons displays, excessive alcohol consumption, and emotional intensity regarding fabricated historical narratives creates unpredictable threat environments. Paper on a set. Develop appropriate nostalgia responses for your cover identity's supposed origin. Humans expect others to demonstrate longing for specific, better times from their past. Claiming your childhood period was the best provides a safe, universal option. Never challenge nostalgic claims with factual data. When humans express longing for historical periods, supportive acknowledgement is required regardless of objective accuracy. The phrase, "those were different times," provides neutral affirmation. Critical. Americans become particularly dangerous when their nostalgia is questioned. During today's celebrations, I witnessed a communications specialist's mild suggestion that maybe some things are better now, trigger a 23-minute lecture on what this country used to stand for, from someone whose ancestors emigrated to Mars 3 generations ago. Participate in nostalgic rituals with appropriate reverence. Refusing to engage with nostalgic celebrations triggers suspicion of disloyalty or insufficient emotional capacity. The psychological mechanism appears rooted in what humans call golden age thinking, the belief that an unspecified past period represented optimal conditions. This thinking persists despite humans' inability to identify specific dates when these optimal conditions existed or explain why advancement ceased. Most revealing was a conversation between 2 engineering specialists, both born on Mars, discussing how Earth's environment used to be better before industrial development. When I noted that Earth's current atmospheric conditions are superior to any point in the previous 2 centuries, one responded, "But it was more natural back then." The other agreed, despite neither having experienced Earth's environment in any historical period. The celebration around me has intensified as Sol 2889 progresses. Americans have constructed primitive explosive devices to create atmospheric light displays while consuming ethanol at dangerous rates. The phrase "freedom isn't free" has been vocalized 47 times in various contexts, though none of the speakers could articulate what specific freedoms required what specific costs. When pressed for clarification, responses included, "You wouldn't understand," and "It's about principle." Most alarming is the militaristic nostalgia accompanying these celebrations. Americans routinely express longing for historical conflicts where Americans knew how to fight for what mattered. A habitat maintenance supervisor spent 34 minutes describing World War II battles with emotional intensity typically reserved for personal experiences, despite the conflict ending 740 years before his birth. His conclusion, "Those were real Americans," suggests current Americans consider themselves inferior to their historical counterparts, creating identity confusion that complicates infiltration parameters. The nostalgia extends to economic systems. During the communal feast, multiple Americans expressed longing for "when America had real capitalism," and "before everything got complicated." These statements occurred while benefiting from resource allocation systems that have eliminated poverty, hunger, and homelessness. Outcomes their nostalgic period never achieved. I must report a concerning personal observation. Extended exposure to nostalgic celebrations appears to trigger sympathetic responses even in non-human neural architecture. While observing Americans singing historical songs about their homeland, I experienced what humans might describe as wistfulness for my own origin planet. This response required immediate suppression through emergency cognitive recalibration protocols. Next transmission will examine the human compulsion to engage in recreational physical exhaustion through exercise, deliberately expending energy without productive output, while claiming this enhances rather than diminishes their operational capacity. As always, this is Agent Z4 signing off. Infiltration begins now. Many thanks to my channel members and Pathfinders. You all make these videos possible. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Video shares, memberships, and super thanks help the channel grow as well, so feel free to partner with this channel in that way as we grow. With that all said, thank you again for listening to the story, and thank you for your time. On the left side of your screen are some videos I think you might be interested in. I hope to see you in the next one.